Vendor Management. To access the vendor list, navigate to the top menu bar, select Programs, Parts Inventory, followed by Purchasing for Vendor List. Alternatively, you could use the shortcut Control F3 to access your vendor list. You can also access the vendor list by going to Purchase Orders, selecting New, and then selecting Add Vendors. Once you enter the vendor module, you'll encounter a list of your current vendors, providing details such as vendor ID, company name, contact information, and other specific account details. Use the search field to locate a particular vendor quickly. Towards the bottom of the interface, you'll notice two small blue arrows. Selecting these arrows will allow you to cycle through the list of vendors, particularly convenient when under the Details tab. At the bottom of the vendor list, you'll notice the New button. Clicking on this button will open the Details tab, enabling you to input information about a new vendor into the system. Delete provides the functionality to remove a vendor from the system. New PO will generate a blank purchase order. Open PO reveals a list of all currently active purchase orders in the system. Close POs will present a list of all completed purchase orders. New RMA will trigger the process for initiating a purchase order return. Clicking on the Purchase button opens a report showcasing the total open and closed transactions for each vendor in the system, with options for comparative analysis from the previous year. Open Purchase Orders. To begin managing your purchase orders, navigate to the top menu bar and locate the Purchase Order button. Upon clicking the Purchase Order button, you'll be presented with a comprehensive list of all current purchase orders within the system. You can search for a specific vendor or purchase order number using the search functionality. Press Tab, Enter, or the green search button to execute a search. To clear your search or start fresh, simply click on the red X, which will break the filter. Our system utilizes color-coded indicators to provide quick insight into the status of each purchase order. Blue indicates that the order has been partially received, green indicates that the order has been received completely, and gray indicates that the order has been received and a bill has been generated, while yellow simply indicates the currently selected line. By clicking on any of the color keys in the top right corner of the screen, you can filter the purchase order list accordingly. Within each purchase order entry, you'll find a detailed amount of information, including vendor details, PO number, creation date, associated invoices, user information, and tracking details. You can conveniently access linked invoices directly from a purchase order list by double-clicking on the invoice number displayed. This feature enables you to navigate between linked customer tickets and customer parts allocated to purchase orders. At the bottom of the purchase order list, you'll encounter a Preview button. This allows for a quick overview of the parts, their status, and quantities without needing to open the purchase order itself. Simply selecting the purchase order will display all relevant information, including quantities on order and received, providing a convenient snapshot of the purchase order's status. At the bottom of the menu bar, we have several options. Clicking on Select opens the selected purchase order for detailed viewing. You can also simply double-click on any PO line to achieve the same result. Selecting New PO allows you to create a brand new purchase order. Delete allows you to remove a selected purchase order. And clicking on View Close opens a list of previous orders that have been completed, giving you easy access to past records. Selecting View Bill will present the bill associated with the selected PO, provided a bill has been previously generated. To begin a new purchase order, select the New button located in the bottom left corner of the screen. Then search and either double-click on the vendor name or select the vendor and click the Select button. In the upper left corner of the screen, you'll find our vendor information. Selecting the magnifying glass to the left opens our vendor list, allowing you to select a new vendor if needed. In the top right corner, you'll see the PO number assigned to the purchase order and its creation date. The hour number field references a linked customer ticket if applicable. You can allocate a specified purchase order number for reference in the reference number field, and additionally there's an area to enter the date the PO was submitted and the user who created the purchase order. To the left of the PO number, you'll see a small green check mark. If you require manager approval for all purchase orders before submission, it can be restricted so that only admins or managers have access to approved POs. Once approved, lower-level users in the program can then submit the order. In the PO data list, you'll find various details including item number, supplier number, description, current quantity on hand, sales to date, items ordered on this ticket, quantities received, unit cost, extended cost, sale price, list price, purchase cost, and invoice number if linked. To add an item to a purchase order, begin by entering the part number directly into the item number field. To add another item, simply press the down arrow on your keyboard to create a new line. Alternatively, you could use the New button in the lower menu bar. If you decide you need to link a part to a customer invoice from the purchase order itself, there's a drop-down arrow next to the Post To field. Selecting this arrow will display a list of all open customer tickets in the system. Choose the relevant ticket and then press the Post To button. This action is an additional way of linking an item on the purchase order to a specific customer invoice. To modify the quantity ordered on a purchase order, simply locate the ordered field for the item you wish to change, highlight, and change the quantity. Below the parts list, you'll see a snapshot of your order details. This includes the current ordered quantity, your stock on hand, and any recent sales. To the right, you'll locate a summary of your totals, covering freight, total on order, and total received. Freight charges are handled upon posting purchase order bills. The total on order represents the cumulative cost of all items listed on the purchase order, while the total received indicates the total cost of all received items. To delete an item, simply select the item and press the Delete button. Clicking on the Parts button will bring up your parts inventory. From here, you can search for parts using either a part number or description, and once you've found those parts you need, just select them and add them to the purchase order. You can also add a new item to the system by selecting the Add Item button. Enter an item number name, enter the details of the part, and choosing Exit. Alternatively, if you put a part number that is not in your system into the item line and the system does not recognize the number, it will prompt you to add the item. Select Yes, enter the item details, and the part will be added. Once your purchase order is ready, sending it to Keystone Automotive is easy as it gets. You can electronically submit orders directly from Topline. For vendors other than Keystone Automotive, you have the option to print the purchase order using the Print drop-down to select a form choice and place the order through the vendor's website, phone, fax, or email if available. Once an order has been submitted and the product arrives, you can begin the receiving process. Navigate back to the purchase order list, select the desired purchase order, and open it for review. By selecting the appropriate print form, such as PO for received, you can print it and hand it over to the receiver for verification. Once verified, you can proceed to the lower menu bar to initiate the receiving process by selecting the Receive button. As you navigate through the receiving module, you'll find a list of parts on your purchase order that haven't been received yet. Below, you'll notice familiar fields such as total freight, total ordered, total received, mirroring what you see on the purchase order itself. The Select All button conveniently marks each unreceived item with a check mark, indicating items to be received. However, it's crucial to remember that Topline will assume that the ordered quantity as the received quantity. So if you select an item to be received, you may need to manually adjust the received quantity before completing the receiving process. Alternatively, you can manually update the quantity by directly changing it in the Receive field. The Clear Selected option allows you to deselect any previously selected items. To update retail prices, the Auto Price feature lets you adjust the retail price of selected items based on the item's cost and Topline's pricing markups. When you're ready to receive the selected item, simply click Receive Selected. This action will add the items to your inventory with the respective received quantities. You'll also notice several checkbox options. Update Receive Quantity Only, the system will only receive the item quantity without making any updates to pricing information. This means that when items are received and you check this box, only the quantity of the items will be updated in the system. No changes will be made to the pricing data associated with those items. Do not process back orders. This option prevents the system from processing back orders. Update invoices for PO. Enabling this option allows you to update pricing on customer tickets based upon pricing markups in the system. Note, this feature isn't commonly used as it may adjust previously quoted and approved customer tickets. When back ordering is enabled and you receive less than your full order, the system automatically generates an additional line for the remaining items yet to be received. You can easily receive these remaining items once they arrive by revisiting the Receive module of the purchase order. When back orders are marked off, it will mark the order field with the received amount entered and receive that item. Once you've received all items, you might need to add some additional charges like freight or taxes. Just hit the Total button in the bottom right corner of the screen. This will take you to the Accounts Payable section. Here you can enter all the billing details including vendor information, total amounts, and any additional fees. When done, simply select Post to Accounts Payable. You'll be prompted for confirmation to generate a new bill. And once confirmed, a bill for the purchase order will be generated and displayed. To finalize and complete your purchase order, once everything is submitted, received, and billed, navigate to the lower right side of the screen and select Finalize. Confirm by selecting Yes, and the purchase order will be closed and will be moved to Closed Orders. To access the module, select Purchase Order from the upper menu bar and choose the yellow button labeled Create PO with Scanner. Once the module is open, you can begin scanning manufacturer UPC codes directly into the program. Alternatively, you can manually enter a part number into the search bar. As you scan or search for parts, each item will appear in the list with details such as description, current stock level, min and max thresholds, sale to date, and cost. Each scan increments the count for that particular item. To expedite scanning, you have the option to set the quantity for scan. For instance, if you wish to order a large quantity of an item without individually scanning each one, you can enter a desired quantity and subsequent scans will increment by that amount. Additionally, you can assign bin locations to scanned items for better organization. Simply input the bin location and it will be associated with a scanned part. If adjustments are needed, such as modifying quantities, you can pause the scanner to make changes directly in the list. Once your list is complete, you can proceed with creating a new purchase order from the list or assigning items to an existing purchase order by using the drop-down and selecting a purchase order you would like to append the list to. Additionally, the module supports importing and exporting text or Excel files, facilitating seamless integration with barcode scanners that have memory and docking stations. To utilize this feature, simply walk the retail floor, scan the parts, and then dock the scanner to transfer the scanned data to a text file. You can then import this data into the module, allowing for efficient creation or updating of purchase orders. Receive PO with Scanner. From the Open Purchase Order screen, locate the Receive PO with Scanner button. Clicking on it will open the Receive PO with Scanner utility. This module enables you to efficiently handle deliveries by either scanning items with a barcode scanner or manually entering the item numbers. Once you scan or type a part number, the system identifies the item, counts it, and searches for the oldest unreceived purchase order. For example, scanning an item will display its details and indicate the oldest associated purchase order number, such as PO6414. If there are multiple quantities, they will be deducted from the respective purchase order until fulfilled. Efficiency is further enhanced as the system automatically moves to the next oldest purchase order containing the scanned item, once all items from a particular PO are received. This streamlines the receipt process, allowing one person to manage deliveries regardless of vendor or purchase order specifics. Furthermore, the quantity for scan feature expedites scanning, especially for multiple quantities of the same item. Enter a value into the field, and subsequent scans or entries will count in those increments. Upon completing scanning, select Receive Parts on all purchase orders to automatically receive scanned items on respective purchase orders, updating inventory seamlessly. This feature ensures accurate and efficient processing of received items across multiple orders, saving time and effort. Items to order. The Items to Order utility can be a staging area for parts you would like to order. Throughout a period of time, by selecting an item from your parts inventory module and pressing the Order Item button, this allows you to browse your inventory or analyze reports and then find items you would like to reorder. You also have the flexibility to set a date range, allowing you to review sales data over a specified period. Let's set a date range. Now you have two options. We can build items to order from the date range. This option utilizes recent sales data to suggest items that may need replenishment based on historical sales activity. If you've set minimum and maximum inventory thresholds in the system, you can leverage these thresholds along with the current on-hand quantities to determine which items need to be reordered. Once you set the date range and click Build Items to Order, the system will analyze the sales data within the specified dates and present you with a list of parts that have been filtered based upon that date range. Now simply select the items you want to reorder. You can either manually select specific parts or choose to add them all to a purchase order by simply selecting the Select All button. Next, you have two additional options for placing these items on a purchase order. Assign to an existing purchase order. If you have an open purchase order in the system, you can select it from the drop-down menu next to Assign to PO. This option allows you to append the selected items to the chosen purchase order. Alternatively, you can choose to generate a new purchase order. Simply select your vendor from the list, click Generate New PO with the selected parts, and this action will create a new purchase order with all the selected items.